Mr. Kuzuki's skin would transform into a deep shade of purple, his eyes turning into a hollow and sunken black, his hair shifting to porcelain white. Dormammu stood, watching as the human gave himself over to the entity known as the Beast. But even through his eyes, a power, once abundant, now lost to the sands of time, stood rather unimpressed. So this was your final trump card, turning to the power of a forsaken god. Dormammu. You know of me, Krolok. The silence was deafening before Kuzuki would blitz across the temple grounds, aiming a devastating kick towards his head. Even while controlling the body, Dormammu's reflexes were starting to reach their peak condition. It seems you were good for something strange. This body has seen much combat, quite adept for fighting in hand-to-hand. However, Dormammu's main form of battle did not come through the use of martial arts, but rather through his ability and understanding of magecraft. He used his form of alchemy to change the battlefield and terrain, his hands clasped on the ground, causing jagged spikes and edges to protrude. Kuzuki's body moved nimbly through the new obscuring objects, now set to take his life, even managing to absorb the dark flames of Faltane. Your power, Dormammu would say, pungent and disgusting. You claim to know true evil, do you, Krolok? But what I see is a fool who desperately clings to power. You claim that the way is through destruction, but destruction is only half of it. Destroy all and rule nothing. The world may have forgotten you, but I have not. I know well the old history, Krolok. I know of what you truly are, your true origin. A time when elder gods roamed the earth. You, the weakest of them all. You used the humans, their form of worship, having them destroy in your behalf, because you did not have the strength to rule yourself. Do you hear me, human? The being that possesses your body. He is nothing more but a coward. Kuzuki would attempt another flying kick, amplified by his magecraft, attempting to destroy Dormammu, who avoided him with ease before pelting him with powerful blasts of pure mana. He cannot save you. He merely allows you to forget your pain. Your strength, it cannot restore the nerves that have been severed. It cannot repair the bones that I break. You are nothing more but a crash test dummy. You keep throwing yourself at me, throwing yourself into the violence, the rage. But you're not focused, Not truly. You don't fight for victory. You don't fight for the future. You fight merely to exist. And existing merely to fight, Dormammu said, as he blocked another one of his attacks. It will get you nowhere. From a distance, Archer would watch on, watching as the human Kuzuki threw himself repeatedly into the attacks of Dormammu. The power of the beast. Archer remembered his time in the future. The cabal that worshipped the beast were always dormant. Of course, after the last schism, their members had grown scarce. They were forced to scatter to hide themselves. But, like a phoenix, it eventually rose again. Sometime in the future, Archer was sent out to destroy what remained of the beast cult. Safe to say, they all attempted the ritual of the Black Flower, to use the power of the beast as their own. In the end, they were driven mad, becoming nothing more but nihilistic creatures that had to be put down. It was a massacre, destroying all that remained, but not just men, women and children alike. Generations that had all been fooled into worshiping the dark deity. In the meantime, Lancer, Rin, and Shirou had managed to make their way underground, just in time to confront Caster, who was still attempting to take over Saber in both mind and body. Saber had been resistant to her takeover. Of course, the last thing she expected was to see those kids. I thought that they had done away with you, Caster said. Well, you know what they say. We're all kinds of stubborn, Ren said. Lancer would immediately go on the offensive, but before he could finish, 2 blades would appear, cutting off his path. It seems we meet again, Archer would say. Yeah, it seems like it. You're all kinds of stubborn. So you've gone and you've found yourself a new master. Rin, Archer said. Archer, you're the last one that I expected to see here. I thought the betrayal was now your specialty. Betrayal. You misunderstand. Save it. I don't know why you did what you did, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. Because one way or another, we're going to kick your ass. Shirou would rush towards where Saber was, only to be stopped by another archer, a clone. What the? You're not the only one skilled in that magecraft. The images of Icon. Shirou would create the images himself, as now there were 7 Shirous to just 1 archer. You can multiply a 0 by 100, by 1,000, but in the end it will still be 0. No matter how many of yourselves you create, they will all be cut down by me. Meanwhile, on the outside of Ryudo Temple, as Dormammu continued to effortlessly dominate the mind-broken Kuzuki in his now beast-like state, the temple was surrounded. Various mages from all across the world joined and united with one goal in mind, Wong leading the charge, as they would all descend onto the battlefield. Dormammu quickly noticed himself being surrounded. Over 200 of them. Quite a few. Though I wondered when you were going to make your move. Master Wong. Dormammu. Tell me, how does it feel to be fighting against the one whom you served for so long? You are nothing but a demon. You have corrupted the body of a good man, and now you wish to flaunt it in my face. I just like the humor. Enough of your prattle. You will be banished back to the dark dimension from whence you came. Wong would lead the charge with the other mages, as they all descended onto the two. The fighting erupted on the outside like a war zone. Meanwhile, underground, Caster, Archer, and one of Archer's clones fought against the combined power of Lancer, Ren, and Shirou. Shirou and his clones responding in kind to the Archer that they were fighting. Each one trying to go for the blind spot, but Archer saw it coming. You're predictable, Emiya. The power that you wield disgusts me. Everything about you, your very existence. Just what do you have against me? Two of the Shirous would try to blind spot Archer from opposite sides, his left and his right, only for them to be cut down as well. Crimson bands of Sidorak! Immediately, multiple bands would try to bind Archer's arms and legs. However, the servant was quickly able to dispel of them also. Another Shirou coming in from behind, only for him to be cut down as well. There is no strategy, no technique. There is nothing that you can do that I cannot see and that I cannot cut. You know, Shirou would say, I always knew from the very beginning. I really, really hated you. The feeling's mutual. I don't know why, but every time I see you, it's like I see something in myself. A person that I don't want to become. A man that I never want to be. You could actually say something like that, and yet you continue down this futile path, the path of the hero. But is that even your path? What? It's not even the path that you could choose for yourself. A path that you picked merely out of obligation. You think I do this just out of obligation? That's the only reason I fight? It's the only reason why you have to fight. The only reason why you live. If I asked you, what in this world was worth dying for? What would you say? What? Exactly. What in this world is worth dying for, Emiya? Shirou wasn't sure what Archer meant by this, and he wasn't given much time to ponder as Archer continued his relentless assault. You talk about being a hero of justice. You throw yourself into the line of fire. And why? Why do you do these things? Do you believe that fate will shine down upon you? Do you believe that fate will reward your sacrifice? Do you truly believe that you can make a difference? You think, if I can just save them, if I can just get them out of harm's way, then it's worth it. I'll break myself no matter how many times. I'll endure whatever pain or punishment. And you think that makes you noble. You think that fortune will shine upon you. You think that victory will come just because you want it bad enough. A foolish ideal for a foolish boy. You were the one who thought that you could change the world. You were foolish enough to take that power. Foolish enough to take that oath. You saw what it did to him. You've seen what it does. And yet you still want it. Want what? Even for Rin, in the midst of her battle with Castor, Archer was getting at something. But what was it exactly? You don't know anything about me. I know you far too well, Emiya. I know what you would plan to do with that power, if you got your hands on it. Power? Lancer, while battling against the other archer, was now intrigued. Wow, you really got a hate for the kid, don't you? You know, when I used my noble phantasm, there was something rather peculiar when I fought against you. The fact that you were able to withstand and shrug it off, not even needing to use your own. I thought that I was crazy. Or maybe I really ran into someone who was out of my league. But now I don't really think that's the case, now is it? No. The more I fight against you, and the more that I watch the boy, it becomes far too clear what all of this is. Master! Lancer would yell out to Rin. You mean to tell me that you really couldn't see it? See what? Don't lose focus, little girl. See the truth that was before your very eyes. The servant that you summoned the first time, your precious archer. He was always beside you. Always beside me? What on earth was Lancer getting at? As Rin would continue to hold her own against Castor, as Saber was struggling to break free, eventually, it all started to make sense. Shirou, Archer, her mind replaying, remembering them. At a glance, you wouldn't be able to tell, but no. Could he actually? Shirou would have his last clone destroyed. The blades that he created with his projection magic were being destroyed quicker than he could remake them. And Archer was getting the better of him. Lancer knew that he had to intervene as soon as possible. Alright, this has been fun. But now, it looks like I need to step in and save the day. So how about we wrap this up, clone? Clone. So you figured it out. Of course. I'm fighting the fake. The real one's going after Emiya. Lancer would dispatch Archer's clone before rushing over to help Shirou, as now the real Archer would take aim. Lancer would be able to cut him off, as now the two would square off once more. Stay out of my way. Yeah, don't really see how I can do that. Fortunately for you, I don't have much of a choice. I fight for the sake of my new master. She's a bit of a tyrant, as I'm sure you're aware. Emiya boy. Do not call me that. Aw, what's the matter? Did I actually strike a nerve? Huh? Emiya boy? Archer would begin his assault, but Lancer was able to fend him off at every turn. His lance countering the two blades. Shirou would move over to where Saber was now, helping her to break her free. Caster, upon seeing this, would turn her sights over to Shirou. You've gotten in our way for the last time, boy. And now I will be done with you. I don't think so. Ren would use her jewel magic, using an emerald stone, throwing it to Caster and using it to bind her in place, before using a form of trap and restriction magic as well. Caster would soon find herself more immobilized than ever, and Ren would help to break Saber free. Move aside, Shirou. This magic, it's going to be difficult to break. Just buy me some time and cover me. Why? Caster, that won't hold her for long. She's a master of magecraft, even more so than myself. All I've done is buy us some time. Right. Lancer, you have to hold him off. So tell me, what finally made you crack? Lancer would say, as he began pressing the offensive onto Archer. That's none of your business. Aw, come on, you can tell me. Besides, we're all good friends here, aren't we? You and I? We've done this dance more times than I can count. So I figure it's only fair that we get to know each other better. I had this sneaking suspicion about you. You know, considering the fact that you're not like any of the other servants. You're not a heroic spirit from the past. I couldn't place your trace of origin anywhere. No one came to mind. Even Assassin came from an ancient folklore. But you were different. Somehow newer. But then I figured, why call from the past when you can call from the future? Archer would create multiple blades, shooting them with perfect precision, as Lancer would deflect and smash through each one. It looks like I've rattled you quite a bit. I have to say, the future you came from is probably scuffed if it's made you this jaded. Your mana, it's disgusting when I sense it. All that blood, all that guilt. I'm guessing that somewhere along the way, the path became a little less clear to you, huh? You lost sight of what was most important. And now, it seems that the universe has called you back to this very moment. It's called me back to give me a second chance to right my biggest wrong. I agree, but are you going to actually take it? You have ties to the Sorcerer Supreme, but I think I've puzzled and pieced together the full story. Let me take a guess. You became the Sorcerer Supreme of your world. In the future, you bore the sins of the world, and you tried to change it with that power. But in the end, things didn't go quite as planned. As perceptive as ever, Lancer. Running that mouth of yours, it's going to get you into trouble. What would I be without it? So, you realize that it was a mistake trying to take on your master's will So you want to cut it off at the source. That's pretty noble of you. It's not about nobility. There are some things that should not exist in this world. My dream is far greater than just destroying him. I will destroy the very concept. The Sorcerer Supreme will die in this age and never return. Killing off the Sorcerer Supreme entirely? My, that is mighty ambitious of you. But still, I can't say that you're all total lost cause. You wouldn't let someone like Dormammu run free. So you plan to stop him. Of course I do. After I deal with him. But don't you think that's a little unwise of a course? Wouldn't you be better off working together? I, for one, don't deal with the idea of alliances. They only slow you down. Such as yourself. Do you have any pride as a warrior? Do you have any resolve at all as a man? What was that? You heard me. Look at yourself, Lancer. Being passed around from master to master, with no will or desire of your own. In the end, what does your mighty lance stand for? Why does it even matter that you choose to fight? Huh. So now you're trying to get in my head, huh? Well, I must say, you're failing at it mighty much. I know who I am. I don't have to question it. In the end of the day, I'm stilled in my resolve. I know why I was summoned, and I know for what reason I exist in this world. You, the child of light, who came from Irish mythology, a demigod, the offspring of a mortal woman, a sister to the king. He's even deduced my origin. I'm well of who you are, spear hero. So if you know so much about me, I thought that I would spare you the courtesy. In the end, your noble phantasm, the gave bold. In the end, your spear, while mighty, it will never pierce my heart. My heart, it died a long time ago. That's cute with the whole dramatics, but the fact is, you've got a beating heart. And if you continue this, my spear is going to run right through you. In the midst of their battle and their banter, Ren had managed to break Saber free. Of course, Castor would not allow for her plans to go awry, undoing the jewel magic that had been used to bind her, as she would prepare her descent upon the kids. Saber, now free from her control, would step back into the fray once more, as she used her blade to counter against Castor. However, the battle in the undergrounds would be short-lived, as a blazing hole would burst. Stepping inside, a creature dressed in human clothing, made of fire. But its fire had changed from the bright hue of red to a more violet and unstable purple. The hell? Ren would say. Is that Doyle? Doyle! Incinerate. 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 Doyle's flames would burn hot, as now everyone turned their attention to the son of Dormammu. All of them standing together, Doyle would set his sights first on the caster. Following the orders of his father, Caster would attempt to create a barrier to block out the flames of Faltaine. Now given a significant boost by the new Sorcerer Supreme, the flames would burn through the defense. Caster would attempt multiple times to blast Doyle back, but it did little to stop him. Caster looked around her. In the end, all of her schemes, everything, it had all fallen apart. There was no servant, no ally. She yelled out as Doyle wrapped his flaming hands around her throat, incinerating her head, burning her away to nothing. It seems that he's being powered by Dormammu. Yeah, I figured that, Lancer would say. So, what do you want to do? You want to continue your murdering crusade now? Or do we work together to kill the demon spawn? It's obvious. We have to kill it. What? We're not killing him, Shirou would say. Shirou, I don't think we have much of a choice. No, we can't. He's not a bad guy. Believe me. I know we can't. Do you truly want to make this a battle of ethics now, Emiya? Archer would yell. Look, just because I don't feel like solving all my problems by putting a sword through someone's back doesn't mean I don't get what's going down. I know we have to stop him, but that doesn't mean we have to kill him either. That sentiment, it's going to be the death of you, Ren would say. Can't argue with that. Saber would stand beside both Ren and Shirou. Currently, due to the effects of Rule Breaker, she didn't have a master at the moment. But still, it wouldn't stop her from fighting. Meanwhile, above, the situation had divulged into full-on bloodshed. Dormammu was now in his element, killing off mage masters alike, as Wong would desperately fight to subdue him. Chavez as well would try to reconvene with the others, as Wong would tell her that the situation wasn't looking good. He's grown far more powerful than I could have anticipated. What do we do? How are we going to get down to the others and get them to safety? It's the only way. We'll buy you as much time as you need. No, Master Wong, I won't leave you. Not to fight against this. You know what has to be done. Do not fret, child. I have no intention on dying so easily. Chavez would protest, but Wong, knowing that he didn't have much of a choice, he would raise a single hand and blast her away. He would begin to chant. Great Barrier and Great Star, one who watches over the traveler in the mist of the night, I ask for your protection. I ask for the blessing. I ask that you will be the one who will guide down on the path of righteousness. I ask you to hold back the flood of evil before us. With this, I ask for the prayer of the star, for the one who will be able to block out the darkness in the night. Star Barrier! With that, a new dome would be formed around the battlefield as Dormammu took it in. Trapping yourselves inside the cage with the lion, not the brightest of ideas. We didn't come here thinking that we would save ourselves. We came here knowing that we could face death, and we will face it with honor. Then you will die more foolish than most. If it means I can banish you back to the depths from which you came, then I will embrace death. Master Wong, please! Go, Chavez! Now, foul demon. I'll humor you. Give it everything you've got, Wong. With no choice, Chavez would move underground, eventually finding the lair. Caster's charred corpse fading away to nothing, and Doyle being forcibly held back as everyone was fighting for their lives. With no choice, Chavez would create a portal, calling for everyone to fall back. Shirou, Rin, Saber, Lancer, they all followed her call. As for Archer, he did not. Even for Shirou, knowing that he was trying to kill him, he didn't want Archer to die like this. Will you quit being stubborn and just come back with us? I don't think you understand, Emiya. This changes nothing. Fine! Wait, Shirou, don't! As the portal was starting to close, Shirou would jump back out. The portal closed on them as Rin yelled, Shirou! The portal would close, Chavez and the others disappearing. She had used the last of her strength to get them somewhere safe, teleporting them as far as to the school. Open up a portal! Take us back! Take us back now! Rin would yell. I don't have enough mana. I'm not going to be able to... Trace on! Rin would use tracing magic over her legs and begin to run. Where the hell is she going? She's running back after the boy, Lancer would say. Well, guess I should follow after her so she doesn't die. Saber, I'll be there as soon as I can. Saber would then get to work on helping to heal Chavez, as Rin ran with all of her strength. You idiot! Don't die! Don't die! Please don't die! You fool! Why the hell did you come back? Shirou would create 2 swords as he stood his ground. I'm not going to let you kill him. It works better this way. There's no one to get in the way this time. I can take you both out. And I can save the future. It's all right, Doyle. You're only doing this because of your father. I will set you free. Archer, Doyle, and Shirou, all standing across from one another. All warriors, equally determined. only one aiming to save life. The three-way deadlock, now at an abrupt silence. The world stands still, waiting for the first blade to clash. This concludes Fate Stay Night, the Sorcerer's Son. What if Shirou Emiya was trained by Doctor Strange? Part 18. First, I would like to apologize. The delays have been coming because I have been dealing with some stuff in my personal life. I have a close family member who is going to be going into some intensive surgery in the upcoming days. So, as you can tell, I've been pretty preoccupied helping out with my family in that regard. However, I am going to try to be more consistent as this series has dragged out a lot longer than I intended, and the script definitely played a factor in that. So I'm just going to be giving you some of the updates on what's going to be happening going forward. I want to try to get this series wrapped up in at least 21 to 22 parts. That's around the target goal that I want to wrap up this series with, because we really do need to start moving on to the other material. So I would say that between today, tomorrow, and Friday, and maybe 3 more slots next week, this series will be wrapped up. However, next week we are going to be doing some double uploads because, like I said, we're already behind the 8 ball. We got to continue this Marvel anime saga going. So next week we are going to be doing double uploads. So we'll be uploading in the morning and we'll be uploading in the evening. Now, I am going to be very busy. So between now and then, a lot of the videos, they're going to be a lot shorter and they're going to be pre-records. So we're not going to be doing 30-40 minute videos for at least the next week or two. They're going to be in the 15 minute to 20 minute range, and they're going to be more summary based and not dialogue heavy. So I hope you understand, but that's just going to be some of the changes that we're going to be doing in the near future. But we are going to try to keep this thing consistent and keep it rolling. But I want to say thank you to all of you for your support and for your understanding. Like I say, I can't do it without you. You make the channel grow. You make the core grow. So stay tuned tomorrow as we continue with Fate Stay Night, the Sorcerer's Son, What if Shirou Emiya was trained by Doctor Strange, Part 19. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with Power Core Productions and Podcastings, signing off, and I'll see you next time.